I think the biggest myth that's associated with sociology, like I just mentioned, is thinkers, to be honest. I think every sociology student that you'll talk to is that you have to learn thinkers, you have to code thinkers. That's the only way to score in the subject. That's absolutely not true. There is a right balance, and obviously, I'll get into the segment of what is that right balance. But please get over that myth. Second is that paper two, while yes, like even I mentioned, it's dynamic, does not mean that PYQs are not important. So the myth that PYQs are only important for paper one and not paper two because you don't know what will come in paper two is not true. So, like I always say that PYQs are your best friends. That is what I say even for for GS, and especially for optional. PYQs are your best friends if you know how to use them correctly.
Yes.
The third myth that's associated with sociology is that even in the syllabus, when you're looking at the hotspots, so like, for example, in paper 2, people just think that, okay, Andre Bati or M.N. Srinivas are the only two gods. It's not true. So the myth that you can, if there's a syllabus and you can just focus on two things and leave out 5 other things just because you think that's what's going to come is not true. So please don't try to rationalize a subject which is already rationalized. So when you're doing the hotspot analysis, don't just blindly follow hotspots. Fourth is, and it's not a myth, but just a thing that people say that if when it comes to resource list, to be honest, like I don't think anyone in sociology has been able to crack what is the right resource. The myth usually goes around is Nitin Sangwan is enough. It's not true. Like genuinely, it is not true. But it also does not mean that you do endless resources like IGNOU, like Harlumbus. That's not true. So the fourth myth is around like Nitin Sangwan is enough is not true. And also IGNOU is not enough. So like fourth list is like around the resource list. I think these are the 4 biggest myths that are, and sorry, there's one more, which is when it just comes to presentation in an optional paper. Like there's a myth that because it's an optional paper, so you need to like long essays, which was applicable, I agree, till 2020, 21. Paper has changed. And if you don't change, your marks will not reflect it. So just the fact that, but it also does not mean that it's a GS paper. So I'll also get into how like you can solve for it. But the fact that it's an essay paper is no longer relevant. Like, don't keep writing essays. So the myths that essay format works, and I've heard that a lot, to be honest, is not true. So I think these were the 5 biggest myths that I had to overcome. So please add if you have heard anything else from students.
Yeah.